in the end, Dongsan Gaozong has the number 3 grade, so our Shixin, they win like 10,000 NT dollars for more sports from Rotary community. So as we see a lot of very energetic young guys and some famous SBO basketball stars. So that's a brilliant week. And then later on Monday we have a busy week. So there are two groups has informal meeting, and we can see the very pleased IPP Lu and Sophia upgraded the informal meeting standard. We had a very great lunch in Youli-chun in Xinche. Okay.
Who I am you?
So anyway. No, sorry. You see, everybody wants to be PP, not IPP, and better not to be P, Sorry for that, IPP. And Youli-chun is such a wonderful place that you gotta know if you want to invite anyone to visit Xinche and had a good lunch or dinner. That's a wonderful place. All I remember is young kids, a lot of kids running on the grass and see a very good view. So wonderful informal meeting. And then thank you CPA, the first group informal meeting we hosted in Sausalito. Yeah, that's a very secret place in the Jingguo Yuandao. Yeah. So if you want to have a secret dating with someone, Sausalito is a pretty good choice. If you visit that, you know what I'm talking about. And later we organize all the Moon Festival party details. Later we will have that details in our board meeting. So that's our great weekend. And this week, this Tuesday night, we still have a very good badminton time. And this time I have a right close. So that's the week. Thank you.
Thank you. Secretary time. Oh, okay. The board member, the August board meeting will be held after the meeting. So the board member please reserve your time to attend. Okay, we'll get into our main program.
Yeah, and it's come to our main program. Today, I have the honor to introduce you a very important person to me because he shared the outstanding view with me about the Tibet culture. And but I just learned that Mr. Zashi慈仁was born in India, and he is the second generation from Tibet. And when right before 28th birthday, he and his family moved to Taiwan. And right now, he is one of our partners. He's our citizen. Just because the Dalai Lama last time visited Taiwan, and Taiwan government offered, and I think they earned it. Okay, the citizenship. So he's absolutely one of our own members, but we still have too few knowledge or information about Tibet. What is Tibet and what's happening to Tibet people, and what's going on in Dalan Sala. Okay, so all we know is about the image of Dalai Lama. That's the only thing I know. So I think today is a very good opportunity for us to learn about the story of Tibet. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring you Zashi慈仁.
First of all, I really want to say that today I'm a little bit nervous because I never used to speak in English. I think this is my first time I'm speaking in English. I was born in India. I'm the second generation in exile, and my parents, with His Holiness in 1959, they settled, fell in India, and also in India we have a Tibetan refugee government. Tibetan exile government in India. So in beginning in 1959, my parents were with His Holiness, we are 80,000 of Tibetans come from Tibet and settled in India. So on that time, my parents and the first generation of Tibetan, they really don't have a very good education. Even they don't speak English, they don't speak Hindi, they don't know about Indian culture and this whole thing. Like my own family, my parents, they have 11 children. So I'm the second youngest. So I know that they are really very big suffering while they are, they come to a new place, new culture, even they don't speak Hindi. But because of His Holiness, Indian government, they support lots. They give us a Tibetan settlement, Tibetan refugee camp in India. So we have our own refugee camp. Only the Tibetans, they are living in that settlement. So by the way, His Holiness again asked for the Indian government about, we have many Tibetan children also, we also need the education, because why we left Tibet, our country, to come to India. Actually in all over the world, there is many different kinds of refugee. But our country, I think maybe you might know that we are not so rich, but still we can live in our country. We have our own traditional food and everything. So because of politically problem, so we go as a refugee to India. If I talk about 1951, when the Chinese Communist government want to make a peace agreement with Tibetan government, on that time the Tibetan government, we are not that much agreed. We are not that much happy to sign this 17 peace agreement. But after in 1959, once the agreement, after that 1959, we have no other choice. We left our country because we'll get they destroy our monastery, our culture, everything. So after that, His Holiness decided to go to India. So we settled in India, and I was born in India. In beginning, I really don't know what I have to do and what I am, because I'm also grew up with the same neighbor people like Indian guys. So when I grow up, I can understand that I am a refugee. I am with my Indian friends. We have a big difference. After he graduates, he can go for the government job. He can apply for government job. He have many opportunity to do other job. But for Tibetans, we are refugee. We don't have that much opportunity to apply for the job. So that our government, actual government, also needs some staffs in our government. So very few Tibetans can go and do that job. So the second generation, they start to go for the Western country. So in the beginning, our exile government is also very much worrying that once the second generation, they shift for Western country, maybe why we come for exile. So our main goal to go back to Tibet, and His Holiness we take again back to Tibet, and we need our own Tibet like before. So this is our main goal. So we thought that maybe the young generation, they used to go for Western country. One day maybe they forget their own goal. But after a few years, we realized that the young Tibetan who grew up in Western countries like America, Europe, even in Taiwan, so people, they are too much hardworking for their own goal. They are too much working for the country. Even the 6 million Tibetans, our population, they are in Tibet. They are under this CCP. But beginning, we are also very much worrying about the 6 million Tibetans who are under the CCP, what they can do in future, because they don't have any basic right for the religious or freedom of speech. But today, in Tibet, 160 something Tibetans has self-immolated. They burn themselves for the country, for the religious freedom. Even some of their statements says that we need His Holiness back to Tibet. So this is all their own statement. And even the 60 years now we are in exile in Tibet. Really, many of Tibetans, they are suffering. Even Chinese communists killed 1.2 million Tibetans already, and 60,000 monasteries has destroyed. And also our religious, our culture are almost going to finish. So after 1959, many of Tibetans, they also from Tibet, they come to work from across the Himalaya and west to Nepal and India. The reason only is that when they come to India, they can learn their own language and traditional and our culture. And today, because of His Holiness, we are still alive our culture in exile. Even we are in India, we are not in our country, but during in exile, His Holiness give us a very good democracy education. So in 2011, we, as a democratic, we elected our own political leader. This is all given by His Holiness. But for Tibet, His Holiness Dalai Lama is 400 years serving for the Tibet, for our culture, our religious. And on behalf of our Tibetans, the way of our Tibetans looking for His Holiness is not like an ordinary person. We believe and trust His Holiness is the reincarnation of Lord Buddha. So that we very much trust in I think maybe in Chinese we can say Qian Shou Guo Yin Chuan Shi Dalai Lama Zhuanzi. So this is how we believe. And even in my life, I was born in as a refugee. I never saw my country. I don't have any chance to go back to our country. So I think maybe now I'm also not young. I also 7 years before I got the cancer. I supposed to live this old. Really, sometimes we feel very sad, but sometimes very proud. Because of refugee, I learned lots. I saw many things. So, and after that, I decided to come to Taiwan. And beginning Taiwan and Tibet, we don't have not that much good connected because of, I think we can say as a political reason. Because in Taiwan, also Taiwan constitution also mentioned that Tibet is part of 中华民国. 汉蒙蒙会藏是中华民国. Because of that reason, and the young Tibetan, they knows about that, and we don't know how to go to Taiwan, but still in Taiwan, on that time, they have a Tibetan Mongolia Association, Mongzang. So on this Mongzang, we cannot accept this Mongzang. So after that, 1987, the first time, former President Li Donghui, he invited His Holiness to Taiwan. So after that, our relation became very better, and even we know that in Taiwan also changes a lot on democracy, so that many of now young Tibetans from India, they come to Taiwan to learn the Chinese. The reason is that even our exiled government and in our society, now we have two stand for our future. One is called, suppose like His Holiness is never seeking independent Tibet. He used to say that autonomous region. Under the CCP, we need our own, we can say that we have 3 regions. Xizang, Dan, San, Da, Qu. We need 3 regions together and under the CCP. Okay, so this is called autonomous region, middle way. But the young generation of this Tibetan and many organizations, NGO, they are seeking for independent Tibet. This is to stand for our goal. But now in Taiwan, many Tibetans, young Tibetans used to come to Taiwan to learn the Chinese. The reason is that even you are seeking for independent, you are seeking for autonomous region, but we have to with China, so that you should learn Chinese is very important. My own goal is why I come here in Taiwan. In beginning, I can also go to USA because my elder sister, brother, they all are in USA for many years. But I purpose choose Taiwan. I know that I go to Taiwan, I'll get problem because I don't speak good Chinese. Even I don't know anybody here in Taiwan. And my English is also not good because I'm from a very poor family, so that my family, they doesn't affect to, go to the school, and they also already have 11 children, so it's a big problem. So after that, I choose that I go to Taiwan. At least I can learn Chinese in Taiwan, and I can communicate with the China. And maybe in future, if I get opportunity to meet the young Chinese student, I can explain the real condition and real situation inside Tibet. Because in China, it doesn't mean that Han Chinese, Tibetan, Turkestan, Mongolia, whatever. If you don't listen to CCP under we all are same. There's no any difference between Chinese and Tibetan, Mongolian. If you don't think that will kill you. We know in many this thing, 中国民运人士. So we know many of them, like in Taiwan, there's a Wang Dan, and in United States, in UK, we all are working together, and we all the same goal, because they are Chinese, they are Han Chinese, but they cannot go back to their own country. Same like us, Dalai Lama, His Holiness cannot go back to Tibet. So that for CCP, we all are saying, after that I decided that I learn Chinese and I can meet for the Chinese young generation, even in Taiwan, and we can share each other. And it doesn't mean whether you are seeking for independence, democracy, whatever, but we have to mentor Zhongguo. So I think that it's very important we united, and united, then we have a special 团结的力量. Sometimes I speak in Chinese because I'm not very good in English. So that we met many of Chinese students, and even in Hong Kong also we met many Hong Kongers who was going to very active on the democracy activists. So that we also have many times we have a conference. So today here in Taiwan, I'm already 23 years in Taiwan, so I'm very much thankful for the Taiwanese NGO and the people of Taiwan, because before I reached in Taiwan, I heard about Taiwan to the Tibet. There is a Tibetan Mongolia Association, and even in Republic of China Constitution mentioned Tibet is also part of Republic of China. But this is all in paper. But in Taiwan, 23 years I have did many different events. I met many different people in Taiwan. Nobody can say that Tibet is part of Taiwan. They all support for us. Even many different political parties, KMT. I used to go to KMT office and invited them to come to participate our event. They're also supporting for us. So this is just in Constitution only. So my experience here in Taiwan, and especially like Lin Xingyi, she also have their own NGOs. In Taiwan, there's many NGO who is supporting, and suppose like me, I'm the chairperson of Tibet Taiwan Human Rights Network, but I don't write Chinese, I don't read Chinese, so my education is not that much. But in Taiwan NGO, they really support me, so that today in Taiwan, we have our own organization, which is, if we think about 20 years before, 20 years back, I think it seems like impossible. In Taiwan, you can establish this kind of organization like Tibetan Youth Congress. Tibetan Youth Congress and CCP always mention that Tibetan Youth Congress is a terrorist organization. So today we are here in Taiwan. Even our head office is in India, but today in Taiwan we have Tibetan Youth Congress, Tibetan Welfare Association, Tibetan Women Association, and our NGO, it's called Tibet Taiwan Human Rights Network for Tibet and Taiwan, is established in 2016. The reason is that even all the Tibetan NGO, we cannot go up to very high level. If we apply for if we connected with the Taiwanese NGO, if we work together, so we have big opportunity to go on the little high level. Suppose like 2 years before, Taiwan NGO and me also on behalf of Human Rights Network for Tibet and Taiwan and some other NGOs from Hong Kong, we three had been in United Nations to apply our issues. These all things I get chance from the Taiwan NGO. And secondly, now I have a Taiwanese citizen, even I have a Taiwan passport, so that it's easy to go for other country to speech on free Tibet issue, and also do many events. So last in 2009, there is some student in France, which is from Taiwanese student group. They invite me to France to talk on Tibet issue. And these all things really make me so proud that I'm spending 23 years here in Taiwan, and because of getting the Taiwanese citizen and also the supporting for the Taiwanese NGO and people, so I little bit contribute for my country. And as a Tibetan, we are very much connected with Tibetan Buddhism philosophy. Whether today I'm not Lama, I'm not a monk, I'm just a lay person. But I grew up in a Tibetan society. My parents, they are Buddhism, they are Tibetan Buddhism. Even my neighbor and in our school also, they teach us what is the meaning of Buddhism. Sometimes Buddhism, to say the Buddhism is very easy, that I can say that I'm Buddhism. But once you have to, to pretend as a Buddhism, you have to sacrifice a lot. So it's not very easy to say. So my parents always used to say that in our Buddhism, this is called emptiness. So your life is empty, but even say you are not you. How can I introduce I am? I can say that maybe I can say I'm Tashi. There's many Tashi. You can search in Google, 1,000 Tashi is there. And if I can find out that this is me, you also have a nose. We all are same. So that it's very difficult to introduce myself to you. So the better is that you can do something for the others. You can contribute for something for the others. So this is the meaningful life. So I think in 23 years in Taiwan, recently, I mean, we just introduced that I'm with my family. No, I'm only one here in Taiwan. So my main goal is that come here to learn Chinese. Today I speak a little bit Chinese, and that Chinese is also I learned from the state in Taiwan. 我每次都说我的中文在台湾路上学的中文，因为我没有去读书的。本身我那个中文也是可以沟通在中国留学生的这些。那主要是因为现在是没有中国公共课 ，there's no Chinese tourism here in Taiwan. So sometimes when I met the tourist who's from China. So this is very good opportunity to explain them, to let them learn that in democracy country, one person have a fully right to express your feeling, to speak out what do you feel. Even like me, I'm in Taiwan as a refugee. Today I can say free Tibet. Tomorrow doesn't matter for me. But same in one Tibetan, if they say free Tibet in Tibet, 生命危险。 Maybe it's too dangerous for his life. But here, nothing is there. And this is the only difference between democracy and Communist Party. So that people who come from China, I think that we can let them know how this thing 劳保性最多有权利在民主国家上。所以到现在我一直在努力跟他们见面的然后。 Second thing， 刚刚我有提到那个佛教的部分，所以说以前 in ancient Tibetan， they are compulsory one of your son should be Lama. There is no choice. And after that, but now it's a change, lots of changing. Even His Holiness giving us advice that we don't need more monks and nuns. We need few but good one, good quality. So some monks. Even in any religious, some of religious leader, religious follower, we can say that Hesang, Lama, they all are same. Sometimes they are also doing some mistakes, some bad things, So that His Holiness mentioned that we don't need for more Lama and more nun, but we need a pure Lama and good Lama and good nun. So this is all given from His Holiness. And secondly, His Holiness used to say that the universal responsibility of good heart. It doesn't mean, it doesn't matter whether you are Christian, Buddhism, whatever your religion is. The main thing, you should be a good human being. You should have a good heart. So that is very important. And after that, you have your own religions. It's a more better. So you already have a very good bad thinking inside. So 你是变成喇嘛，完全没有用的。 所以法王每次都会教我们的时哈会教这个。Secondly, I just want to explain you about I don't know how to, in Chinese we can say Fo Jiao. What it means Fo Jiao, I really don't know. But in English we can say Buddhism. Buddhism, in Tibetan we can say Nangpa. Now Buddhism means a Buddhi. It's an Indian Sanskrit. Buddhi means the way of your thinking, your brain. So way of your thinking, your inner feeling, your inner thinking is most important. So that always we used to say that your inner beauty is the most beauty. And outlooking beauty, you can make it. And one day, if you are really outlooking very beautiful, very handsome, one day it goes, because we are a human being, we go up and down. So this is all changing. But your inner feeling and inner thinking never change. So everybody should become very good and very honestly. And sorry, I never see about my PowerPoint, and so I'll just make these pictures because this is called Temachi, Usa Temachi. And we Tibetan, especially our Tibetan Buddhism, we believe about this. When I was young, and today we have an examination, so I used to go to the mountain and put this flag. This is for Yunchu. So beginning this one, His Holiness Dalai Lama, when he left from Tibet. It was 60 years before.
Oh. How old is he?
Now 85 years old. 85 years old. So,
I was told that when he escaped from Tibet to India, he is only a boy.
Yeah.
15?
16.
16.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, but His Holiness Dalai Lama, his real name in Tibetan is called Tenzin Gyatso. He has his own name, Tenzin Gyatso. And I think maybe some of people who doesn't know about Dalai Lama. Dalai Lama is not elected Dalai Lama. It's a reincarnation. So Panchen Lama, I think maybe you know about Panchen Lama. In Tibet we have a two high rank Lama, which is called Panchen Lama and Dalai Lama. They both, Panchen Lama will recognize the Dalai Lama, and Dalai Lama recognize the Panchen Lama. So this time, the 14th Dalai Lama recognized the 11th Panchen Lama in Tibet. The Panchen Lama who recognized by His Holiness Dalai Lama was Pangcha, kidnapped when he was 6 years old, and he is the youngest political prisoner in the world. So the CCP, they make an official Panchen Lama. So Tibetan, they don't believe about this official Panchen Lama. So when the President Wu Jintao, he don't accept, he don't agree about that. But Xi Jinping, when he comes up, Xi Jinping agreed about the Panchen Lama, who is under the CCP, and they says that they are giving a very good education for the Panchen Lama. So why we are so important about the Panchen Lama? The reason is that His Holiness Dalai Lama, 14th Dalai Lama, is already 85 years old. So he mentioned about that he will be live up to 113 years old. So when he was 77 years old, he had one press conference. He mentioned for the CCP that you don't so hurry to recognize the 14th Dalai Lama. So because I will live up to 113 years old. But we are still worrying that once he left his 14th Dalai Lama, so 15th Dalai Lama is very easily, CCP, China can make other 15th Dalai Lama, because the real Panchen Lama is also under CCP government. So 15th Dalai Lama is, 14th Dalai Lama is also if he pass away. So from the Tibetan thinking that 14th Dalai Lama can decide it about the 15th Dalai Lama, and right now in United States also they have this thing, statement about the 15th Dalai Lama will decide it from the Tibetan society. After 14th Dalai Lama pass away, the 15th Dalai Lama will decide from China. It means decide from the Tibetan. It means the Chinese they don't have any other chance to make a new 15th Dalai Lama. So we are worrying about, because he's 85 years old, and every year I take a delegation from Taiwan to Dharamsala, our exiled government, to meet His Holiness and our office. The reason is that in India, the young Tibetan, they doesn't know, they don't know about Taiwan. They might be thinking that today the Taiwan is a so-called 非常有民主的一个国家。那 maybe they are thinking 民主，他们反正就是有一个民主。But in fact， 为了台湾的民主，台湾长辈、台湾的人民非常非常辛苦过来的。所以呢 ，2009 开始在西藏 in Tibetan we have a self-immolation. Many of Tibetan, 160 something Tibetan burned themselves for the Tibet. But in Taiwan also they had before, already. So we take the delegation from Taiwan to Tibet, Dharamsala, and they can give speech on Taiwan's issue and how developed the Taiwan democracy, these all things. So the young Tibetan will know about Taiwan, how they work very hard on this human right and freedom of speech. So this is our first time meeting, and there's two people from our Tibetan Member of Parliament from Dharamsala, elected by the people, and two of them from Taiwan. One is Freddy and Kulas. So some of them are our professor, and they all are our Human Rights Network Tibet Taiwan executive. And there's also one professor from Furan Tashwe. He has something special to talk to His Holiness. This is our group, our office group. They take their own family and meet His Holiness. And His Holiness, sometimes, if you look from very far, it's very, very serious. But once you go there, you talk with His Holiness, he's so open-minded, and I think this is not good to say that he's so talkative also. See? Yeah. So he can talk many. It's not like that we can see in picture. It looks very serious, but this is our third delegation to Dharamsala. They both are professor from Taichung. Yeah, from professor. This is I took this picture in 2013. So on that time we want to establish one Taiwan parliamentary support for Tibet. So even in this there is KMT also, DPT also. We are always used to say that in Taiwan sometimes they have their own political reason, they have some argue between politically party, but Tibetan, we are here as a refugee, so we need support from every of their parties. And this all are Tibetan young generation born in Tibet. They all have their own organization. Tibet, many organizations. On that year we have some conference here in Taiwan. Not only Tibetan, even Taiwanese activists, Tibetan and Hong Kong. So this is all from different country. They all are from this Tibetan NGO. Yep. This is just I mentioned about. I used to go to the United Nations, Geneva. So we are with some Taiwanese NGO. This is front of United Nations because on that time we have a big event with Weibo. Weibo is Turkestan, Tibetan, and also Inner Mongolia. We all have a big event in front of United Nations. And this is also a first generation, an old lady in New Delhi. I met her because she's too much active on independent Tibet. But usually the elder person, they all go for middle way, younger they come for independent, but she's too active. And this one is cycling for free Tibet. In Taiwan, every year we have a cycling for free Tibet, even not only in Taipei, even in Taichung, Tainan and Kaohsiung. So many of young Taiwanese, and especially the students, they are going to participate with us. And sometimes, this is not only for Tibet, sometimes we are also, because when we met His Holiness, His Holiness says to us that not only do for Tibet, you have to work for every human right. Even in Taiwan, they also need this thing, have to work for the develop the human rights, so that you have to work for Taiwan also. So that in Cycling for Free Tibet, where sometimes we have some this statement on Tibet, Taiwan, Hong Kong, and China themselves. In China also, many of Chinese, they are also not very happily in their own government. So that we are supporting for Chinese also. No, okay. So this is the one His Holiness given for our organization. He himself write in Tibetan, so we translate in Chinese and English. So this is my last one, and only show my keyboard.1998到台湾嘛，那我们那个3月底第一次活动是2004，警察有26个警察到那边，然后警察跟我说，早期先生你们不是7个人而已嘛？那我说已经时间超过了，应该是7个人而已。7个人做生意活动的时候，真的心里面非常的孤单。第一，我自己也不会讲中文。然后第二，没有认识任何的台湾朋友、台湾组织。那个时候的路上，看到台湾人，他们也不知道我们在这边做什么，因为我们会一起喊英文的。但是他们看到大家台湾专辑的照片的时候，也是会要自己更关心我们，是问我们说你们到底是怎么样？那我们跟他慢慢解释。2008那一年，我在去日本抗议的时候，那边。日本警察抓23天，那个23天在监狱里面，我也收到很多写信从台湾、日本，他们都是支持人权、自由民主的。日本回来之后，我心里面决定说，今天开始我所有的人权的活动，我一定要去参加。如果说今天这个活动跟Free Tibet完全没什么关系，也是有关系，因为人权的关系。我不是目的，因为我支持他，所以他会支持我，也不是为了这个我会参加那个活动，是不支持。我是真正支持他们的活动啊，他们的诉求，所以我去参加。但参加的时候会见到很多各式各样的朋友，跟我们讨论的时候，他们一定知道在西藏没有人权、自由、民主，他们也是会支持我们的活动。现在来讲的话，在台湾，像2009那一年，是3000多个台湾人参加我们这个活动，完全不孤单。在台湾一天有那么多中国观光客啊，那我们在台湾做什么活动，越多的台湾人去了解西藏的话，是非常好处，因为马上会影响到中国的。所以你们是不是在台湾参加各式各样的活动的时候，有开心也是，有难过也是，有骄傲也是，全部在一起。台湾政府听不听这个？但是你至少可以表达民主的方式，可以表达它嘛。但是在西藏那边， 你也没办法表达。只有西藏的年轻人是不可能会当恐怖分子。为了国家，我可以放弃我自己的生命，但是我不可能为了我的国家，我会杀别人的生命是不可能的。因为西藏人跟宗教是非常有关系，在印度。
这是在印度吗？
对。那我个人他们是觉得达赖喇嘛是西藏的达赖喇嘛。那现在第二代、第三代改变那么大，现在我们没有觉得达赖喇嘛是西藏的达赖喇嘛，达赖喇嘛是全世界的达赖喇嘛，因为达赖喇嘛专责会关心全世界的，所以讲的开放一点的话，所有的活动就是为了世界和平的，不是因为为了西藏和平而已。谢谢。那今天给我这个机会，我每次都去演讲的时候，我心里面主要是说，因为西藏里面的西藏人600万，我们要代表他们的，所以他们没办法会提出了他们困难跟他们现在的情况，所以我是可以代表他们，所以今天给我这个机会，要真正的情况要提出来了。Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity, because all in 150,000 Tibetans in exile, and we are behalf of 6 million Tibetans who is under the CCP. So we want to express their own feeling and what's real happening in Tibet. So that in Tibet they don't have a basic human right. So today I get this opportunity. Thank you so much for everyone.
May I ask you a question? Is it possible to invite His Holiness to Taiwan again? About his health, is his health good? We know very little about his condition, and then, as a matter of fact, we know very little about Tibet, and your Dharamsala in India. Why may I recommend you to have a press, a newspaper, to publish in Taiwan, or you have an internet about your news that we can know more about your community. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And His Holiness, his health is actually way before he's flying for many countries, but now recently he says that maybe he cannot fly up to 16, 17 hours by flight. For 6, 7 hours it's okay for him. So to invite to Taiwan, whenever we go to meet His Holiness, he used to say that I really want to come to Taiwan and also meet the Taiwanese friends. But the problem is that if there is any problem from the CCP for Taiwan, so I come to Taiwan because of that reason. The CCP is not unhappy for Taiwan, so it makes this is not that much good for me to come to Taiwan. But he himself really very much interested to come to Taiwan. Yeah. Okay.
Is it possible that Governor Tsai resists the
visiting of Dalai Lama?
the obstacle from mainland China?
Yeah, actually, President.
I think before he answers the question, may I ask something about invite His Holiness Dalai Lama to Taiwan? Because right now he is no longer the political leader. He is only the religious leader. Although all Tibetans respect him very much. But discuss with NGO and with the Taiwan Parliament Tibet group, Freddy, and a lot of, right now there are 46 lawmakers in Taiwan. They become the Tibet support group, and discuss with them, and also discuss with some Buddhist communities, that we believe that this invitation is by by the Buddhists is much better than the political invitation. And when we met His Holiness, he always said he's very happy to come to Taiwan. He have strong connection with Taiwan, but he don't want to give us any trouble, give Taiwan any trouble. So if Taiwan say yes, of course he will say yes, but he don't want to, make trouble, make Taiwan more difficulties. Yeah, but I think some NGOs and some people are discussing right now, and we cannot say anything right now because it's a very sensitive issue. So we really hope that someday maybe we can have good news to share with you.
Maybe we have some more questions. It should be, so the time limitation. So 我们谢谢扎西给我们的。We'll take picture together. And like every time you meet friends from Tibet, they always give you something very holy. It's called kata. 谢谢扎西带卡达给我们社内。
卡达了，这是较严肃的这种礼物，神圣的礼物。
我很少被客人送那么多礼物。
His Holiness resign in India.
今天13号。
13号。
OK， 谢谢。
谢谢。还要送手机。
And let's keep going.
Okay. Okay, attendance report and have TV data.
Thank you. Thank you.